Thank you for listening to this Podcast One production, available on Apple Podcasts and Podcast One.
There is a place that is spoken about only in whispers, a dark area that spawns the beginnings of urban legends, a place where anything can happen and usually does. During the light of day, it hides just outside of view, but when the sun goes down, spirits, creatures of the night, roam free, and things do go bump in the night. It is in every state and every country, and there is no escaping it, no matter how safe you feel behind your locked doors and latched windows. So we invite you to turn down the lights and turn up your radio while we join Dave Schrader and Tim Dennis, your hosts, on a journey into the darkness on the edge of town.
Hello and welcome. You're tuned into the best in paranormal talk radio. This is Beyond the Darkness. I'm your host, Dave Schrader. That guy over there at the Supernatural News Desk, Tim Dennis. Forewarning, I probably am not going to do much talk in this episode. Tim, I feel like crap. I've still not gotten over the man flu. I've got double ear infections, so I've been dealing with that. I was hoping that antibiotics would have started to clear me up, but oh, the folly of man making plans, Tim.
Isn't that a song lyric? The folly of man making plans.
Yeah, I feel like I've been, I don't know, like a chipper shredder and just chewing on wood all night. Oh, God, that came out completely wrong. Anyway, my throat is torn up. My head's killing me, so I'm going to let you do your reading of the news. We'll banter when I'm in between coughing fits, and we'll take a couple of calls because that's what we like to do. We want to hear from you, folks, the voices from beyond voicemail. I need you now more than ever. You need to call in because God knows how long these colds are going to keep kicking my ass. And I need to rest. So you call in and tell us your story. 651-300-4977. That's the phone number to call. 651-300-4977. And leave us your personal accounts of the supernatural, whether they're funny, weird, terrifying, ghosts, Ouija boards, demons. Maybe they're beautiful angel stories, visitation, dream visitations. Maybe you've had a time slip. Have you time traveled? Are you an alien hybrid? We want to hear all of your stories. Call in and tell us, 651-300-4977. Tim, where shall we begin this week in the world of supernatural news?
I want to throw you a curveball, Dave. I was, as we were getting ready to record this, news came across that Danny Aiello passed away.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, the veteran actor Danny Aiello, who some of you may know from Do the Right Thing, some of you may know from The Godfather. He was one of the Rosado brothers, Tony Rosado. He passed away. Veteran actor Danny Aiello, known for his scene-stealing supporting roles in many acclaimed movies since the 70s, died Thursday night, that according to TMZ. According to his family, Danny passed away at a medical facility. See, leave the reading up to me, and I'll just go all show long, Dave. That's what I'll do.
Works for me.
Yeah. He passed away at a medical facility. See, I can't say facility. Facility, Dave.
You get up to that word, and then I'll punch it in.
Okay.
It'll be seamless. Ready?
All right, ready? Danny passed away at a medical
facility.
All right. In New Jersey, where he was being treated for a sudden illness, they were told, TMZ was told he had suffered an infection related to his treatment. Danny's family had to come visit him Thursday, and they were told that he had died shortly after they'd left that evening. Aiello, a native New Yorker, broke into movies in the early 70s by landing a small role in the Robert De Niro baseball drama Bang the Drum Slowly. He followed it up by playing Tony Rosado in The Godfather Part 2, in which he delivered the famous line, "Michael Corleone says hello," right as he's going to, give the old choke in the bar. You remember that scene?
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
The choke out in the bar
Danny.
where the cop comes in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Danny
Aiello, you will be missed, buddy.
He will be
Thanks
missed.
for all the years of entertainment.
Yeah. Danny go on to get praise in Fort Apache, the Bronx with Paul Newman, Once Upon a Time in America, The Purple Rose of Cairo, Moonstruck with Cher. He got the Best Supporting Actor as Sal, the pizza joint owner in Spike Lee's 1989 film Do the Right Thing. Danny survived by 3 children and his wife Sandy, whom he was married to since 1955. So there you go. Just figured we'd start off with that one because it's kind of an important
bummer. Sure.
Yeah, kind of an important one. We move on. Travel Channel has renewed Ghost Nation for a second season. Travel Channel has picked up a second season of its new series, Ghost Nation, starring the, it's in quotes here, OG gang of paranormal investigators. I had no idea Ice-T was part of this deal. I had no idea. That's what OG is, original gangsta.
Well, they're the original ghost hunters, Tim. OG, original ghost hunters.
Oh.
Yeah.
See, I'm from the streets, Dave. OG is the original gangsta. Just saying. Could I be any whiter when I say that?
I don't think you could, Vanilla.
Okay. Jason,
I'm going to call you Vanilla Spice.
Vanilla Spice. Oh, that's so nice.
If you were one of the Spice Girls, you'd be Vanilla Spice. Doom, 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 doom. I like that kind of blending of Spice Girls and Vanilla Ice into Vanilla Spice, which sounds like an amazing coffee when you think about it.
Well, a little bit, or a tea. I think it'd go better with tea.
Oh, okay. Now you're getting old.
I'm more of a tea guy myself. I'm just saying.
I heard that. Teabagging.
No, not like that. I'm just saying I enjoy a nice chai. I like a nice chai. Jason Hawes, Steve Gonzalez, and Dave Tango are the OGs in this article, concluding a successful debut season, which launched out of Travel Channel's annual Ghosttober event on Friday, October 11th. The series has pulled in over 5 million viewers to date. The premiere of Ghost Nation was the second highest rated debut for the network in 2019, with the series averaging a plus 43% ratings increase among L3P 25 to 54 from year-ago levels season to date. And if the average person can tell me what that rating means, I'll give you $1.
Well, I kind of understand those ratings now that I'm a big-time TV celebrity, Tim. Now that I've put my time in and have cruised the visceral airwaves, I'm pretty adept at understanding those numbers. And basically what it comes down to, it's a damn good show, and a lot of people are watching it.
That's true. Yeah, that's very true. Yeah.
So you've got that. Now, I want you to skip ahead. There's another story a couple down, but since we're talking about the triumphant return of Ghost Nation with the original cast of Ghost Hunters, Dave Tango, Steve Gonzalez, and Jason Hawes, there's somebody else that's about to try to make a comeback.
That's true.
So, let's start off there.
That's true. Interestingly enough, Ryan Buell from Paranormal State has hinted that there's more to come, and he's done that through his social media sites, Dave. Did Ryan Buell from Paranormal State just share that the show may return? The star of the wildly popular A&E show recently marked Paranormal State's 12-year debut anniversary on social media. Buell shared a few images of the cast and crew from when Paranormal State debuted in 2007. He reminisced about how the show was ahead of its time, but then dropped a hint that perhaps more is to come. 12 years ago today, he stated, Paranormal State first premiered to audiences across the country. Over a decade later, it's still airing on TV. It was so much fun to invite audiences in on PRS's investigations, he shared on Instagram. Thank you to all who contributed to this series, which was ahead of its time and still stands the test of time with audiences. And there will be more to come. Stay tuned. And he then ended it with a winky face emoji.
Now, here's the deal. We love, in America, we love a good redemption story.
Sure.
Right? It was proof. If not for redemption stories, we wouldn't have Robert Downey Jr.
Yes.
If you remember, I mean, he was a mess, an alcoholic and a drug addict who, at one point was arrested for going into somebody else's house and sleeping in their children's bed like he's flicking Goldilocks, right?
Right.
But, his life turned around. He did Chaplin and some other movies that really kind of put him back on top. So people want to pull for the underdog, but I don't know if this guy's gone too far. For people that don't know, first of all, I had a lot of love in my heart for the whole crew.
Mm-hmm.
at UNIVCon. They welcomed me with open arms. That was the big, paranormal conference at Penn State. Mm-hmm. And they had a lot of the big celebrities. I mean, I got to meet Lorraine Warren through them. I got to meet so many great people, right, doing UNIVCon. And they invited me to actually do an episode. So I'm on an episode of Paranormal State. It's an episode called First Contact, where we take the kids out. They knew about my UFO experiences out at the Trout Lake Yeseti Ranch, and they wanted to join me. So we went out of our comfort zone and demon hunting, they said, and they went to go see it. And we caught some remarkable footage. And I always loved Ryan and loved the crew. They were always super good to me. But, as years progressed, he started doing live events, and he would take all this money, and people would find out a day or so beforehand that it had been canceled and there was no refund. Then people started calling venues that were on the books, and those venues knew nothing about the upcoming event. And they, allegedly fleeced people out of tens of thousands of dollars. It's even believed maybe upwards over $100,000. Right. And then when everybody was getting all up in arms and lawsuits were starting to be talked about, he developed pancreatic cancer, and everybody kind of backed off, and they're like, oh, this guy's going through enough. Let's leave it be. And somehow he rebounded. Now, I don't remember. Maybe you do. It's the survival or mortality rate is not great for pancreatic cancer, right?
Survival rate's only 5 to 7%. It's very slim, very slim. Yeah.
Now, granted, you've got fans around the world praying for you, pulling for you. You're legitimately people are throwing out good juju your way. So could that have helped? Possibly. He's posting pictures of himself looking very sickly and thin and gaunt. There was a lot of conversation that, he was maybe doing drugs. Again, these are all allegations. I don't know that anybody's ever gotten a definitive answer, and I don't know if he ever settled up with people. I don't believe so, because I still hear from some angry people from time to time that, they spent a lot of money on events and trips they never got to go to, which is, kind of disappointing. But, if he's ready to make a comeback and the network is willing to take that shot, I just don't know. What could you possibly do to make it an interesting show again?
I do have an idea. I actually we'd done a taping for the December episode of On the Rocks with Mally Fox, and I had told Mally, if you really wanted to do, and it's a free idea for Ryan, go ahead, use the idea. If Ryan really truly has redeemed himself, if he's truly in recovery and he's on the right path and he's really wanting to do this to help people, if he really wants to do a television show that's going to help people and help people who are in need of spiritual help and getting rid of spirits in their home, here's what he does. And he's talked about on social media, and he's actually been hanging out with the new crew from PRS at Penn State. And he's kind of hinted that, and he's even asked for case submissions. He did that back in April on Instagram. I don't think he should team up with PRS. I think he should leave PRS in the past. I think what he should do, and this should be the synopsis for a brand new show, is basically it's Ryan's redemption story. He should take whatever spiritual leader that he follows, or holy leader, or whoever it is he follows, or spiritual advisor that he has near him, whether it be Reverend Long or whatever spiritual advisor he is following. It should be him and a spiritual advisor, and it should not only delve into what cases he's taking on as far as ghost hunting, but it should also be a look into his recovery and his ongoing recovery, because we all know that you don't just stop after 30 days, 60 days, a year. Recovery from drug and alcohol addiction is an ongoing recovery. It's the rest of your life.
Right.
And it should be a retrospective look into Ryan's life, both personal and professional. And if you want a true redemption story, America, as much as we love to tear people down, we love to build them back up again. And if Ryan truly is in recovery and truly wants to help people and truly wants to put himself out there, That's what he should do. Now, what do you do with the proceeds from the show? I truly believe that Ryan should take at least half of what he makes from the show, because obviously he's going to be the producer of the show, and he's putting together with a production company this show, and he's going to be making profits off of this show. I think he should take half of the profits from the show, not make all of the profits from the show. He should take half the profits from the show, put it in a trust, and with those profits from that trust, he should pay back the people who he wronged from ticket sales that were never paid off, from appearances that he didn't make.
Or I bet, even if he just showed that he donated that amount of money that he allegedly skimmed to, pancreatic cancer research or something.
Exactly. And then
people would feel better. Yeah, that's a good plan.
Yeah.
It's a good redemption arc. I wish him luck. Like I said, I really love the kid. And, kid, now he's 30-something-year-old man. But
right.
he was good kid, and he was a good guy, and drugs and fame can mess you up, Tim. Obviously, look at the way my life has turned since I started doing the Holzer Files. I'm up to smoking 2 Twinkies a day. I'm unruly. Sometimes I get crabby if I get the wrong Happy Meal toy at McDonald's. I don't know if you've seen the TMZ footage, but it's not good, Tim.
It is not pretty. I know that much. Yeah,
not exactly. Well, hey, there's some other good news. Talking about big returns, there's 2 movie franchises returning, Tim. What have you got for us?
That's true. Actually, the big one, the big trailer that came out this week that I know we're both excited about, Ghostbusters Afterlife showed up this week, Dave. And I know I liked it. I know you liked it.
I'm baffled, though, because I'm seeing a lot of excitement about it as well, but I'm really surprised at the people that are bitching about it, that are all, this looks like Stranger Things and Goonies meets Ghostbusters. You had to evolve it. It couldn't, if they'd have just come out with the same shtick. I think this is a great handover piece.
Yeah.
Personally, first of all, Paul Rudd, I'll watch anything with Paul Rudd in it. The guy is charming, and I'm not saying I am gay, Tim, but if I was gay, that would be my life mate right there, Paul Rudd. Whether he like it or not, he may end up chained in my basement, but he would be mine. Do you hear me? He'd be mine. Anyway, I digress.
As long as you feed him as he's chained to the radiator, I think you're good.
Yeah, I want to keep the healthy glow to his beautiful hair. Anyway, this looks like a great spin-off sequel to it. It appears that Egon's passed away, which they're paying homage to Spengler or to Harold Ramis in this movie. Mm-hmm. We don't see any of the original cast, which I thought was a ballsy move. You see trinkets from the original series, and then you find out that there have been no ghosts in the last 30 years, but something big is brewing. And I got to tell you, man, I got a creepy vibe from this. I hope they go a little bit spookier.
I do too, and it definitely looks like that's the way they've gone. It almost looks like Egon moved out to the country, so to speak, and kind of settled down and put everything away. And it almost looks like something got out of that ghost trap that he had and took over this area. And Paul Rudd, it's almost like Paul Rudd, it's up to him to try and figure out how to wrangle everybody together. And
he can do it. He's Paul Rudd.
What's that?
He can do it. He's Paul Rudd.
Well, he's Ant-Man. How could Ant-Man not put all this together? He just gets the Hulk, and then the rest of the Avengers.
Yeah, Professor Hulk joins him.
Right.
Because they so underused him in the last Avengers movie. It would be perfect.
Exactly. Yeah, it all makes sense.
Although Hulk kind of looks like Slimer in human form.
Yeah, he does, yeah.
Oh, speaking of, I just watched a funny little documentary about the making of the Ghostbusters movie. Mm-hmm. And I thought what was really clever is they had spent all this time creating and crafting Slimer. And, actually, this wasn't a documentary. It was in a book that I did. I just got through an audiobook, and they were talking about the fact that Belushi had died. And, like, the last minute they decided, they contact the guy that's making Slimer, and they're like, we want you to make it look like Belushi. And this guy had put hundreds of hours in crafting Slimer. And the guy, he goes, okay, you got it. Hung up the phone and didn't do a thing different.
Oh, my God.
And then said, I think I captured him. And they pulled off. They're like, God, dude, it is Belushi. You did it.
No.
How funny is that? Yeah. So he didn't He's not actually crafted after Belushi, but it's, kind of the big, dumb, funny blob, Blutowski from Animal House, basically. So they whether the guy channeled it and did it on his own that way or pareidolia, they just saw what they wanted to see. That's the story with Slimer. But anyway, so the movie, it's set for like in April 2020, is that right? Or no, September.
September 2020 is the no. That's the other one that's set. That's Conjuring. That's set for September of 2020. I don't think they've released a date yet for this, but
all right.
But Jason Reitman is the director. Ivan Reitman's son. He directed, of course. Ivan Reitman directed the original 2 installments. The film stars Carrie Coon, Finn Wolfhard, McKenna Grace, Paul Rudd. 2 children and their single mother have to relocate to their grandfather's house in the middle of nowhere. That's in quotes. Due to financial difficulties, strange paranormal activity starts to literally shake the town that they've moved to. The kids discover the secret of their grandfather and also his equipment, and also a jumpsuit on which Spengler is written, indicating that they are Egon's grandchildren. The film looks, of course, fun and fresh, and I was excited by it, and I love the fact that it's just the slow reveal, and it gives you the setup for the film, and that you don't see any of the originals in it. I love just that
ballsy move. I like it.
Yeah, that slow reveal is real nice. So
I'm looking forward to it. All right, what's our next story? The
September 2020 release date you're talking about, Dave, is the third Conjuring film, which, believe it or not, has made almost $2 billion. That shocks me that this
that?
Well, when I think of these films, I guess because we've talked in the past about how little it takes to make these films. You talk about $20 million, $40 million budget
hits. They've been monster hits. I mean, and look at the run they've had. Conjuring 2. You've got the spin-offs of Annabelle 2, and Annabelle Comes Home. You've got the Curse of La Llorona that just came out that was pretty big. You've got the Nun movie that was huge. Mm-hmm. And then in that Annabelle Comes Home, they kind of reinvigorated into a horror franchise with all the monsters. And they seem to be foreshadowing what we might see in the third Conjuring movie by the introduction of the werewolf. But from the explanation, it's not that. This is going to be something I think that our fans of both our show and our True Crime Tuesday show are going to really love. I remember reading this book. This is a good story.
It is. Warner Brothers has revealed the title and release date of the third Conjuring movie. The film will be called The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, and it'll be released, of all days, September 11th, 2020. Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga will reprise their roles as paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren from The Conjuring and The Conjuring 2. Michael Chavez will take over directing duties from James Wan. Chavez directed the 6th film in the Conjuring franchise, as Dave so elegantly put it, The Curse of La... Now, see, you've got me.
Just remember it this way: da 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 dun 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 da 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 dun dun La Llorona.
La Llorona.
That's what I said. La Llorona.
Exactly.
My Bologna.
A synopsis for the film reads that The Devil Made Me Do It reveals a chilling story of terror, murder, and unknown evil that shocked even experienced real-life paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren. One of the most sensational cases from their files. It starts with a fight for the soul of a young boy, then takes them beyond anything that they'd ever seen before to mark the first time in U.S. history that a murder suspect would claim that demonic possession as a defense. The Conjuring universe's 7 supernatural films have brought in $1.9 billion at the box office. Earlier this year, The Curse of La Llorona took first place at the box office over Easter weekend. Annabelle Comes Home, the latest in the franchise, debuted second behind Toy Story 4 in June, and that's because Buzz Lightyear couldn't get possessed enough.
See, look at that, though. That was what weird timing to release Annabelle, the doll that comes to life and tries to kill people, on the same weekend as you've got Toy Story, where the toys come to life and try to kill one another.
Yeah, I know. That's odd, isn't it? Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Warner Brothers also announced release dates for the Flash solo movie and the 4th installment of The Matrix as well. And oddly enough, Dave, The Matrix and And the other, and now it's escaping me, the other Keanu
John
Reeves.
Wick.
Yeah, John Wick 4. That's right. Are debuting on the same day.
And I wonder if they're going to try to figure out a way to bring Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure Part 3 in on the same day so that every box office number is held by Keanu Reeves. First, second, and third place. You can't go wrong. He's a winner in all three categories.
It would be a Keanu off.
Ooh. It'd be a hat trick Keanu style.
Something like that.
What do you think? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Speaking of pretty cool, we want to hear from you, my friends. What does that mean? Well, it means you get off your lazy ass and you pick up your phone and you call us and you tell us one of your own paranormal stories, whether it's funny, heartwarming, charming, terrifying, ghosts, UFOs, Ouija boards, demons, angels, whatever you've got. We want to hear your story. Stop being so stingy. It's the giving time of year. Plus, listen, my voice keeps going out. I'm sick. I'm living in a bacteria factory. I need you to tell the stories for a while. 651-300-4977 is the number to call. 651-300-4977. Be a part of the show because, well, damn it, it's just the right thing to do. We give and give and give. It's your turn to give back to your buddies on Beyond the Darkness, just like this caller did.
Hey, Dave and Tim. This is Glenn in Ogden, Utah. Hey, back in, I do security, and I'm also a reserve officer in that here in Ogden. Anyway, I do security full time in that, and yeah. Anyway, back in it would have been in February of 2014. I was working at a hotel and that in Ogden, and Ogden is well known for for haunted places. It's anyway. Long story short, I'm working one night. I'm giving the night auditor a bad time. Basically, I'm teasing her, joking with her, and that. Sherry told me about supposedly a ghost friend of hers that is there at the hotel, and I guess kept her company in that. I don't know, but anyway, one night I was teasing her in that, and she was going over to make coffee in the lobby there, going over to this little stand and making coffee. Well, anyway, I would call the phone. Then she would, each time I called, and that she'd run over, and just as she picks it up, I hang up the phone. Then finally, I start laughing, and she says, and she tells me, and she's from Mississippi, and she has the accent and everything. But anyway, she tells me, you better watch it because I will. She wasn't mean, or I think it was like she was joking with me too, but she told me that she would have her, basically have her ghost friend deal with me, basically get even with me and that on her behalf. Well, anyway, so I like, yeah, whatever. So anyway, I go back and I think I clocked in or I clocked out. It was about 2 a.m. Anyway, all of a sudden it felt like somebody was right there next to me in that, like, and I was it caused a bit of confusion, and I thought it felt like as if somebody was poking me with their finger in that, and it was just the weirdest feeling, and then just jabbing me in my ribs and that, and then and on my shoulder. Well, anyway, so I turned around and I said it out loud, hey, knock it off. There was nobody there. And so anyway, early in the morning, I told one of the maids, and she says, oh, honey, you won't believe the things that have happened in this hotel since it's been open. I've been working here since the hotel opened. It opened in 1983. There have been a lot of unfortunate events that have happened there. Well, anyway, then I find out from other staff that the place is haunted. I didn't know about this, until then, and I worked there for just a few months before and that. But anyway, but you know, I always had strange feelings that I was being watched, especially in the hotels, restaurant, back in the kitchen area in there. But, you know, I never really gave it much thought because, you know, it's just my imagination. But anyway, that's my story. That's the first time that's ever happened to me, and it's the last time. I mean, I've heard things, and I could call back and give you some, you know, more some more stories on that and everything. But yeah, that's it. And I just wanted to share that with you. I've been wanting to call in for a long time, and I finally did. I really enjoy listening to you, to both you, Dave, and Tim. You both help me get through the day. You know, I always look forward to the new podcasts that come out each week. Anyway, thank you. Bye.
I mean, how ridiculously easy is that? Just call us, leave your story, and we play it on the show. You get highlighted. You get sandwiched into a show that's heard over 500,000 times to listeners around the world.
That's pretty darn neat.
That's huge. Yeah. That's a huge. Your story. No, maybe I shouldn't tell. Maybe they'll get all panicky. They'll get stage fright if they know that.
Yeah, don't do that.
No, your story is only going to be heard by Tim and I,
right.
And we'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know what else I enjoy, Tim?
What's that?
Pluto TV.
I know, right?
The leading free streaming television service where you can watch over 100 TV channels and thousands of movies on demand, all for free. No credit card ever needed. No sign up. Pluto TV is the easy and completely legal way to watch your favorite TV shows and hit movies. What are you waiting for? Never pay for TV again. Join Tim and Dave in our harassment of pay TV. Join us with Pluto TV. Download it for free on all of your favorite devices. Your phone, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, smart TVs, PlayStations, hell, anywhere that you stream. We want you to stand up, put out, be proud, become a Pluto subscriber with Tim and I. I don't even subscribe. You don't have to subscribe. You just go download it and you've got it. No credit card needed, no application needed, nothing. It's just there waiting for you. Hundreds of TV channels, thousands of movies, all on demand, all for free. Pluto TV.
That's right.
And as if that's not enough of a gift that keeps on giving, we, meaning me, I have gone through and handpicked some of the coolest paranormal themed items for you, our listeners. So if you're looking for that last minute, hard to find gift and you've got a budget that can spend anywhere from $300 down to a measly $7, I've got something that's going to fit everybody's budget, Tim, everybody's budget.
Nice.
How do I do it? I just do it. That's all, Tim. I don't question the amazingness of my qualities of picking things out. I have games. I have furniture, makeup palettes, jewelry, clothing, Bigfoot slippers, and Bigfoot socks, Tim. How about that? There are ghosts represented, aliens represented. You want it, we got it. How do you get it? Go to darknessradio.com. Click on the store button. It'll take you to our page. And right there, just click on that picture of me speaking to the ghosts. It'll take you to our Amazon page. And there you can see a section for the books for our paranormal guests. You see a section for our true crime guest books. You see a section for things to watch, which are some of our favorite TV shows and movies we put together in there that are on special. There's also a section of just gift items and merchandise, and you can go in there and check it. And when you make a purchase, the best thing is a small, very small percentage goes to the show. So make sure you go sign up for that. And you don't actually, again, don't have to sign up for it. Just click in there, save the URL. So anytime you're going to purchase off Amazon, it costs you nothing. But it's a little tip of the hat to your buddies here on Beyond the Darkness. So please consider doing that. Again, go to darknessradio.com, click on the store tab, takes you in there, click on our Amazon storefront page, and you'll be able to order all this cool stuff. And I've got some really cool stuff from board games to crystal balls to, skull ashtrays, Tim.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a very cool, eclectic collection of nice items. And if you want just that quick turnaround gift, how about my book, The Other Side, A Guide to Ghost Hunting and the Paranormal? $10, that's all it's going to cost you. Plus, I'll sign it for free. $4.95 shipping and handling. How do you get that? Well, you can order it right off of that same page at darknessradio.com. You just go on that same page in the store, scroll down a little further, you'll see our book. You click on it and place your order. If you want to order more than one book, just email me, dave@darknessradio.com, and we'll send you an invoice. You only have one shipping charge, $4.95, and we can get multiple books out to you to the same address, that is. So if you're interested, makes a nice little stocking stuffer for that hard-to-buy person in your family. All right, Tim, where are we going next in the world of supernatural news?
Well, we got one more story before we head to break here, and it has to do with some spooked homeowners in Sydney, Australia.
Do tell.
I wouldn't think that Sydney, Australia would be a hot spot for spooked homeowners, but let's get to it anyways. Who are you going to call? Spooked homeowners are turning to Ghostbusters after hearing unexplained noises and footsteps in their houses. I just call that creaky houses. I don't know. We tend to have a lot of those here up in the old hometown of Blaine. The number of people fearing their homes are haunted is increasing in Sydney, Australia. This led to a spike in calls to paranormal investigators throughout the past year. Residents can be spooked by creaking floorboards, strange whistling, or a bang. I know a lot of us would like a good bang up in this neck of the woods, but hey, I digress. Something strange has been lurking in Sydney homes, spooking homeowners enough to spark calls to Ghostbusters. Business has been booming in Sydney thanks to too many creaking floorboards and old copper pipes, paranormal investigators say. Paranormal researchers Beth Darlington, not researchers, she's not more than one person, Dave, she's just a person. Paranormal researcher Beth Darlington said the number of calls has been increasing this year from people wanting peace of mind. Most of the calls I get are for homes in Western Sydney. That's also where a lot of the strange activity occurs, she told realestate.com.au. Paranormal investigator Todd Fox said Kellyville, where there are a lot of older homes, had become a ghost haven. But it's not the age of the home that determines a ghost factor, he said. Sometimes it's the history of the land that can play a part. His team recently investigated a 2-story Kellyville home that has a daycare center on the first floor after some children had been spotted talking to people who weren't there. We stayed there 9 hours, he said. We took thermal images. Then I felt something whisper in my ear. I don't know what it was, and it was all very, very strange, he said. The reason for the spike in ghostly sightings or feelings has been labeled the new house effect. It's a different term.
My new house effect has been pretty haunting, I'm going to be honest with you. It's, the demon of money sucking has definitely reared its ugly head since I purchased a house.
Yeah, that's a painful one. That's probably the most painful one of all. The demon, the money sucking demon. Demon sucking money would be different, but the money sucking demon is the most painful one of all. With more people taking advantage of the buyer's market at the moment, there's a lot of people moving properties, Ms. Darlington said, and people were unfamiliar with their new home noises. Often the investigations don't discover ghosts, but on the occasion, a spirit is suspected. The homes will be cleansed, sometimes by burning sage. Some of Sydney's most haunted spots are iconic buildings, such as the Oaks. A homestead in Western Sydney has had a lot of supernatural reports. Footsteps of someone creeping around the home has been heard by owner Trevor Garland when no one else is home. An iconic building in Camden is also known for its ghost sightings. The former Camden Council Chambers has a grisly past, with 2 people dying at the property in the early 1800s. Reynolds Cottages at the Rocks is another spot haunted by the son of a convict who had his leg chopped off. I can imagine he's probably pretty pissed off. There's a good reason.
Peg Leg Pete.
Old Peg Leg Pete, exactly. Then there are the tales of the Ryan family, who believe ghosts still haunt the hallways of Monte Cristo, who make a damn good sandwich if you ask me. A Victorian manor in Junee that is arguably the most haunted house in Australia. There you go.
Very cool. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll come back. We've got more stories, more of your calls, And trust me, folks, at the end of the show, you're going to want to put the kids to bed a little early because it's adult time with Dave and Tim. We have 2 stories to wrap up that they probably just don't need to hear. That's just a little forewarning from your pals here at Beyond the Darkness.
If you like this show, then you've got to check out the Adam Carolla Show every weekday on Podcast One. The Ace Man still holds the Guinness Book of World Records title for most downloaded podcast in the world as he complains about whatever's on his mind with his celebrity pals. So don't miss it. Weekdays on Apple Podcasts and Podcast One.
Beyond the Darkness.
Welcome back to the program. This is the best in paranormal talk radio. This is Beyond the Darkness. I am your wheezing and breezing host, Dave Schrader, that guy in the perfect pink of health, Mr. Tim Dennis. And he's about to take us ghost hunting for dummies with Zak Bagans. What's going on, sir?
Boy, you got that right. How did you know the name of the book? Zak Bagans wants to teach you how to hunt ghosts, Dave. He's come out with a book called Ghost Hunting for Dummies. You figured that would be out already, wouldn't it?
Yeah, bad planning on the graphic. The word "for" does not appear legible in the small print pictures that they have. Mm-hmm. So it says Zak Bagans Ghost Hunting Dummies. And I felt that was a poor planning choice on their images. They might have wanted to lighten up the word "and" or "for" rather.
That might be. Yeah.
Have you seen the image I'm talking about or no?
No, is it in the article here?
I don't know. You go ahead and read it. I'll send you over a picture, and I'll tell you. It's just unfortunate. I'm not picking on Zak. I just think it's an unfortunate image to have chosen.
Okay. There's more to ghost hunting than packing a video camera and a sleeping bag for an overnighter at your neighborhood haunted house. Luckily, aspiring ghost hunters have the best mentor imaginable in Zak Bagans, host of the hit Travel Channel series Ghost Adventures and proprietor of Zak Bagans, the Haunted Museum in Las Vegas, who outlines do's and don'ts of paranormal investigation in his latest book. Ghost Hunting for Dummies, which goes for $24.99, is a practical guide for ghost hunting that covers everything from needed equipment to the intricacies of planning and carrying out an investigation to ghost hunting hazards. Hint, be more concerned about the malicious microbes than nasty spirits. Oh, so you got to bring some protection for that as well.
Well, yeah, that's why he's smart. He's the smartest one of our group of investigators, wearing the rebreathers and the masks with all the black mold and asbestos and other nasty.
That's true. Yeah,
breathable problems. That's probably why I've got this. I've probably got paranormal lung.
You probably
I think that's going to be a thing.
You probably do. You probably have the Black Plague. I mean, I'm just saying, in some of those old buildings, you know.
Tim, we don't call it the Black Plague anymore.
What do we call it?
We call it the plague of dissociative disorder.
Oh,
I don't know. I'm trying to think of something much more PC sounding.
Okay. But it's, I'm sorry, I'll correct myself in the future. But it's also a fascinating textbook in which Bagans explores the phenomenon. You can cough through.
Can't do it. My coughing's too bad.
All right. Sorry. All right. And Evolution of Ghosts and Ghost Hunting introduces readers to pioneering paranormal investigators, and looks back at key events, movements, objects, and places in paranormal studies dating back more than 150 years. Bagans says the book is a practical answer to queries he hears regularly from aspiring supernatural gumshoes. I have people hitting me up every single day on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, everybody. Hundreds of people ask me every single week, how do I do this investigation? He says this book was written for them to answer all their questions. Bagans explores theories about what ghosts are thought to be, tells stories of human ghost encounters, examines how science intersects with ghost hunting, and covers the paranormal and pop culture, offering up fascinating tidbits about such lesser-known events as Thomas Edison's exploration of communicating with the dead. It's important to understand the evolution of paranormal researchers and investigators, Bagans explains. A lot of people don't even know who they are. for aspiring paranormal investigators. The main attraction will be Bagans' laying out of ghost hunting basics, included are chapters devoted to ghost photography and setting up and conducting an investigation. It's more methodical and rigorous than many would expect, in which Bagans recalls his own experiences. A good investigation begins, he stresses, with good research. I wanted to be methodical, Bagans says. That's what we need to do, and show you the total research that we bring to our investigations, and it's a complete reference guide to all of that. Bagans offers numerous surprises along the way. He notes, for example, that the biggest health issues faced by ghost hunters involve allergies, dust, mold, and asbestos, as David pointed out earlier. Bagans says his goal is for readers, believers, skeptics, and disbelievers to just learn something from the book, for them to be able to realize they've read something they've never even heard about in the paranormal field. He also hopes readers will be moved to do their own investigations, and says the book will inform and assist them and help them in this field. That's why it felt so good to write this book. So there you go.
Now, scroll down and look. Do you see the image I was talking about? It's a smaller image. When you open the picture up to bigger sizes, you see it. But do you see them? They've got the picture of Zach on the cover, and it just says Ghost Hunting Dummies.
Well, I see the one that you sent me. I'm looking at the one that you sent me, yeah.
Yeah. Do you see you don't see the word for? Because it's really above the letter U.
Oh, yeah. It's really, really small above the word dummies.
Isn't that really weird? Ghost Hunting Dummies. Zak Bagans. I think that's a bad choice.
That's horrible.
Yeah, they should have kicked up that 4.
Yeah, they should have put the 4 to the left of where dummies is, because there's this big black space between where Zach's head is and where the word dummies is, and that's where you should put the 4.
Yep, somebody in marketing wasn't thinking, or they were, and figured it would get a lot of people talking.
Well, that's just bad layout. Whoever did the layout of the cover wasn't thinking.
Hey, we want to hear from you, my good friends. 651-300-4977 is the phone number to call to share your encounters with the strange and supernatural. And that's what we're going to do right now. Here's our next call.
Hello, Diamond Dave and Cuddly Tim. This is Jeff from New York. I have a quick story for you. About 3 or 4 years ago, I was in Tampa, Florida. Dun, dun, dun. I'm at a conference, and after the conference, it was nightfall, dusk, and I leave this old haunted hotel and resort, lots of history there. And I'm just walking through along the coast, sort of a downtown area, waiting to meet up with some people for dinner. I stop in this bar restaurant. I walk up to the bar, and typical, bar filled with people, people having drinks, people having dinner. I walk up to the bar, and out of nowhere, I hear this voice say, "I am going to kill you," as if he was leaning right into my ear. I look around. Nobody next to me, nobody near me. I look at the bartender. He's not making eye contact. So I said, "Did you hear that?" And he said, "Excuse me?" And I said, "Did you hear that?" And he said, I didn't hear anything. Okay. So I was kind of freaked out a little bit. Went into the men's room, threw some cold water in my face, half expecting to see some sort of goblin or gremlin or something. I didn't see anything. Very strange. That was the end of it, but definitely freaked me out. I got a couple more stories. I'll call back at a later date. Thanks, guys. Keep up the great work. Long-time listener. Bye.
I like it a lot. All right, Tim, where are we off to next in the world of supernatural news?
Headed to Arizona, Dave, where there's been an alien sighting above Arizona as strange lights appear. There's a quote of, "It may be aliens." Oh, Giorgio was out there. A strange orb-like appeared in the skies above Arizona, and no one knows what they are, leading to the theory of alien visitation. Well, at least it wasn't an invasion. On Sunday, December 8th, the couple in Mesa, Arizona, spotted the strange lights hovering near high in the sky. The object, which has caused confusion among the public and the military, was seen moving erratically and in all directions. There is yet to be an official explanation of what exactly the oddity is. which has led to explanations ranging from top-secret military exercises to alien invasions. Well, I spoke too soon. It's an alien invasion, by God. Carrie Burnett, an eyewitness of the orb, told KNXV-TV, by a vowel, by the way, it started kind of moving diagonal across, trying to figure out which way it was heading, and as it did, that's when we noticed it started dropping things from it. It was a cloudy night and had drizzled off and on. Regular planes have been flying by since we can see the flight path for the airport. All of a sudden, I saw this bright, glowing orange light. I thought it was a planet or a star at first, and then I realized, that's close, and it's moving towards us. Then, boom, it started dropping what looked like orange fireballs or something that traveled for a few seconds before they faded out and disappeared. Doug Mayer, Miss Burnett's fiance, added, it wasn't just us. Our neighbors next door, they were out and they weren't even filming. They were more in amazement, just like statues, just sitting there and watching it. Mr. Mayer uploaded the footage to Facebook where he was inundated with theories. He said, some said it may be an aircraft. Others said aliens or a comet. They were narrowing it down. The appearance of the lights had many Arizona residents reminiscing of the Phoenix Lights. The Phoenix Lights incident became a phenomenon. I'll do it for you. From March 13th, 1997, after thousands of people began telling of seeing huge triangular UFOs drifting over Arizona and the city of Phoenix. The size varied from a Boeing 747 to multiple football fields. 5 lights were seen in formation by thousands of people over 3 hours from 7:30 to 10:30 p.m. The sightings took place across a 300-mile area from Phoenix to Tucson. Some claim the sightings were caused by the military setting off flares during an exercise at the time. However, officials from the local Luke Air Force Base confirmed to KNXV-TV that no tests were underway. Ms. Burnett continued, the interviewer informed us of his research, speaking to Luke Air Force Base, who confirmed it was nothing from there. He also stopped at a place where he saw an FAA member and showed him the video, and that, too, was inconclusive.
All right. Inconclusive night light anomalies over Arizona. They seem to like the Arizona area.
They do.
Aliens looking for a nice place to snowbird for the winter. I don't know.
It's pretty pleasant in the winter, so I would think it's a nice climate, easy place to land. Not really going to crash into anything unless you're a horrible, horrible pilot. I don't know.
All right. Well, let's move on. What's our next story entail?
Next story has to do with astronaut Michael Collins, who drops a major alien hint in a tweet about life forms. Evidently, he doesn't want to rock the boat, but he does. So you do it on Twitter. Why not? NASA veteran astronaut Michael Collins has shed light on the presence of alien life outside of Earth and tweeted about encountering alien life forms on other planets. The NASA astronaut was briefly the loneliest man in the universe when he solitarily orbited the moon during Apollo 11 in 1969. But the U.S. astronaut may not have been so lonely after all. If his suspicions about alien life in deep space come true, in a Twitter exchange with his more than 62,500 followers, Mr. Collins spoke about the alien mysteries that humans might one day encounter. The NASA astronaut was asked by a fan if he considers seeking alien life beyond Earth or finding a habitable planet or plane to settle as more important. In his opinion, the Apollo 11 veteran said both options are intertwined with one another. Mr. Collins said in a tweet, I think of it all as outward bound, a journey that may reveal both life and place. Ultimately, a place to live may be the final goal, but may be dependent upon the life forms found there. I just hope we never have to make the decisions to leave this Earth. #AskMichaelCollins. In response to the astronaut's tweet, Mark Johnstone said, finding other signs of life will or should be easier as we don't have to leave Earth. The question of whether we can ever develop the ability to travel the distance to other solar systems is harder to answer. Marco Thompson said, good question. Though exploration and innovation, we will seek habitation that is independent of Earth. Mining and other off-world activities are very lucrative. However, finding life in other places of our universe would be a monumental discovery and would change society. Twitter user Kai Neski also said, I don't think physics would let us settle other celestial bodies, but finding life away from Earth would be the most significant moment in human history. We know for sure that life forms independently more than once, hence that the universe is full of it, that we are not alone. Mr. Collins has spent the last months answering select questions from his fans submitted on Twitter under the hashtag AskMichaelCollins.
I love when guys like that make themselves accessible, especially such a historical icon.
Oh, there's more to the article. I'm sorry.
I know, but I'm just saying, that's great that he's making himself out there reachable and people can actually connect with him to find out about this. I think that helps inspire people's interest in space travel as well. That's
true. That's very true. Let's see here. In August, for instance, the astronaut was asked if he believed in life outside of Earth. Mr. Collins replied with the question with a simple yes, prompting excited responses from his Twitter followers. Mr. Collins was one of 3 astronauts who flew to the moon on the monumental Apollo 11 mission in July of 1969. On July 20th of that year, his colleagues Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin attempted the first manned lunar landing. As a command module pilot for the mission, the astronaut remained in lunar orbit while he awaited the safe return of his fellow astronauts. The command module pilots served a critical role in the Apollo program, acting as a lifeboat and ticket back home for the 2 astronauts who walked on the moon. Before Apollo 11, Mr. Collins flew in NASA's Gemini program during Gemini 10, together with astronaut John Young. He successfully performed an orbital rendezvous with another spacecraft in Earth orbit. Mr. Collins would go on to say that Gemini 10 taught him to be comfortable many miles above Earth and how to ration his energy and how to appreciate his crewmates. Those are just some facts about NASA's Apollo 11 moon landing. Okay.
Yeah, I think that was about it in that article. Very cool.
Yep.
You know what else is cool, Tim? It's early December. Every game in the NFL means so much right now.
Oh, yes, it does.
All is on the line for playoff implications. We're coming into the last few weeks of betonline.ag's work that we're doing with them. And we've been doing well, slowly climbing our way up the ladder of success, making our way to the chokehold that is Adam Carolla. Our goal eventually is to yank him by the short and curlies down from his ivory tower and take over while stepping on the broad shoulders of one stone cold Steve Austin to get there, Tim.
Oh, yes.
In order to do that, we need some more winning picks.
Well, yeah. Well, I got him.
You got him. So Here's what we do, folks. Every week we give you 5 picks for the week and a lock, which means that this is the one we feel the best about. We're so confident we're not even going to give you the lock. We're going to give you the lock plus what the points are going to be. And there's a $500 reward each week given out to winning shows to give out to 5 of their listeners that are also playing along with us. So if you haven't already signed up, go do it now. betonline.ag and use promo code podcast1 for your 50% sign-up bonus. All right, Tim, where are we going to start our picks this week? I know we've already got one win under our belt with the Ravens, which I believe was our lock this game.
It was. I couldn't resist, Dave. Thursday night was the Ravens and the Jets. I mean, man, come on. The Ravens are the hottest team in the NFL. How could you not pick them? That was our lock this week. We picked them 28-14. Of course, they won handily 42-21. So we had the point spread right. They just scored a lot more points than what we picked them to score.
Ooh.
I'm just
Who do you like in the Super Bowl this year? Are you thinking it's a Ravens or a Chiefs Super Bowl?
People are, I think, going to kind of shirk a little bit when I say this, but you know what? I think we've already seen the Super Bowl this year. I think it's 49ers Ravens.
All right, you heard it here first, folks. Tim, well, maybe not first, but you heard it here for the first time on our show. Tim has picked the 49ers and the Ravens to go to the Super Bowl this year. Patriots, you're leaving in a cloud of dust and a hearty I-O silver?
Yep.
All right.
I think that's the Super Bowl this year. I could be wrong, but I think that's what you're going to see this year. I really do. I think those are the two most complete teams in the NFL this year.
Well, what are our other 4 picks? We'll get through this quickly and get back to supernatural news.
Sure. Okay, so here's the deal. The Patriots, Dave, are at their best when they're cheating, right? It seems like every time
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Don't deflate their ego, Tim, by stating such a blanket statement like that.
Oh, Dave,
go for it.
I would never spy upon them and say that they were allegedly doing things wrong, but let's just say they got into a little bit of trouble over the last week or so with a video camera in the Cincinnati Bengals. Well, guess who they're playing this week, Dave? The Cincinnati
Bengals.
Yes, they are. And it seems like every time they get into a trouble with a little bit of a video camera, they win big. So we picked the Patriots this week at the Bengals because every time there's a video camera involved, there's a win. So pick the Patriots.
Now you're going to buy into conspiracy, and that's what they wanted you to believe, so that you'll bet heavy on Patriots, and then it'll go the other way. Cincinnati will take this one.
Nah.
Okay.
Pick the Patriots this week, especially after a scandal. The Patriots tend to get fired up, especially when they think that the world is against them. The Patriots tend to come out and play very, very
wrong.
well.
They ain't wrong, Tim. The world is tired of the Patriots, except for people in Boston.
That's right. So pick the Patriots this week. This week is also huge in the NFC North. There's a lot of teams. I should say 3 teams that are vying for that top. The Packers, the Vikings, the Bears. Even the Bears are looking to squeak into the wild card race now as well. So this week the Packers are taking on the Bears. The Bears want that 6th seed in the worst way. The Packers are at home in Lambeau Field. The Packers need to pull this one off, and they need to beat the Bears in the worst way. You're going to pick the Packers this week. That's your second pick. The Kansas City Chiefs have been
sad thing is they probably will win, but in the worst way.
What, the Packers or the?
Yeah. That's you said they got to beat them in the worst way. That's how exactly it's going to go down.
It will be. It'll be like a 3-point win. It'll be a last-second win, but the Packers will win that game in Lambeau. The Chiefs have been an interesting team. They've been a tale of 2 teams. They've been up, they've been down, and Pat
They've
Mahomes,
been over and out, a prince and a pauper, a king and a pawn.
That's right. Mahomes had a little bit of trouble with a hand injury, I think it was last week. That's not going to matter. The Broncos are a tough team as well, and they've been playing tougher the last few weeks, but they're coming into Kansas City. Kansas City is a tough place to win. The Chiefs are going to win this one, though, this week, so pick the Chiefs as well. The Chiefs are your team to pick this week. And, of course, that team I talked about that's going to be a Super Bowl team, the 49ers, are at home against the Falcons, who have been playing tougher lately, and they've been winning a few games, but there's no way they're going to win there in San Francisco at Levi Stadium. It's not going to happen. Pick the 49ers this week. So your 4 picks for this week, of course, we had already picked the Ravens. So it's the Patriots, the Packers, the Chiefs, and the 49ers. Those are your picks for this Sunday.
Visit our good friends and exclusive partner at Podcast One, betonline.ag, to take advantage of the best bonuses in the business. Sign up for a free account and make sure to use the promo code podcast1 for your 50% sign-up bonus. Again, visit betonline.ag, and don't forget that promo code podcast1 for your 50% sign-up bonus. betonline.ag, your online sportsbook experts. Plus, did I mention there's a $5,000 season-long charity contest going on? Oh, come on, enjoy the fun. Join the conversation on Twitter with hashtag SportsNetChallenge, hashtag SportsNetChallenge, and play along with all of us here on Podcast One. All right, Tim, I know we have 2 stories left.
Yep.
I want you to skip the order of the stories.
Yep.
Shuffle them.
Yep.
Because I have some breaking news to follow up with after your final story. So please, where are we going next in our final official 2 stories of the week?
Take it we're going to China first?
Yes.
Yes, we're going to China first. China normally doesn't brag about how big things are in China. They don't walk around talking about how big their size is about anything, but they're claiming the world's largest telescope, Dave, to begin the hunt for alien life. They're extremely proud of the size of their telescope, Dave, and they're ramming it down our throats. Just saying. That's what they're doing.
Yes.
Yeah. China's ambitious plan to build the largest telescope in the world seems to approach its final steps slowly. The 500-meter aperture spherical radio telescope, they're calling it fast, Dave. Too fast, too furious, if you know what I mean, is down to its final testing stage and will soon be put to use. The country's gigantic 500-meter, everything is big, gigantic, 500-meter or 1,640 feet wide telescope is located in southwest China's Guizhou province, and it accounts for the largest dish in the world. The tool could be researchers' best approach in finding alien life. FAST was first tested in 2016, and it features 4,450 panels. Since 2016, the telescope has spotted 99 signals, but a bitch ain't one. Holla! Just saying. From the deep space. It's a little Jay-Z quote. What are you going to do? But the signatures proved to be fast radio bursts later on. Scientists are still unclear regarding the signals, but what they do know is that they can generate as much energy in a mere second than the sun manages to emit in 10,000 years. The FRBs are incredibly challenging to analyze as they can last for a millisecond, and there is no method to foresee where they or when they are emitted. The most probable explanation is these signatures come from powerful gamma ray bursts, which are very short yet intense radioactive bursts from stars. Now, Chinese officials have announced the search for aliens is going to become more alert. Zhu Ming, who's the director of the Scientific Observation and Data Division at the FAST Operations and Development Center, said that in the attempt of spotting signals from cosmic bodies, they also gather signals that might be expelled by humans or alien intelligence. However, this is a huge amount of work since most signals we see, 99% of them, are various noises, so we need to take our time to identify the signals we want in the noises, he said. The team of researchers will also utilize the telescope to detect gravitational waves, which are ripples in space-time, made up of 4,450 panels and boasting a width of 500 meters. The aperture spherical telescope outgrew Puerto Rico's 300-meter or 984 feet Arecibo Observatory, which is the prior record holder for the most massive telescope in the world. And you don't want to tell a Puerto Rican. That sounds like somebody with powers. You don't want to tell a Puerto Rican that... I
get some calls from them on the weekend trying to do some collections from me.
Do you? Yeah?
Yeah.
You don't want to tell a Puerto Rican that yours is bigger than theirs. They get mad about that. So I'm just saying. Specialists in China will be utilizing the large tool, to monitor the universe in an attempt to search for extraterrestrial life. Because of the immense size of the telescope, it has the potential to identify even the dimmest signals from the distant corners of the universe. And there you go.
All right. Very cool. Very cool. All right. We've got one more official story to share, folks. This might be the point in the show that we're going to say goodbye to the kids.
Yep.
Anybody overly sensitive?
Mm-hmm.
Because the last two stories, they're humdingers, Tim.
Yeah,
they're dingers of hum.
Yeah, well, there's humming. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's get to it. Kids, thanks for tuning in. Be safe, be kind, love one another. Adults, you're welcome to stay. You know, just by saying that, the kids are going to hang in, Tim. I'm pretty sure that's they work, but we've done our part.
Yep.
All right, Tim, our final two stories begin now. What have you got for us?
Well, Dave, turns out the most popular porn searches of 2019 have been exposed, and oh, have they ever been.
Please tell me fat, bald radio show hosts are among the top searches.
No. Turns out alien and femdom make the list. Yep.
Alien and femdom. Okay, so female dominatrix?
Yeah.
But alien. People are looking for a little alien love, huh? Probing?
Yeah. Yeah.
go on? Is there more to this, or are you just going to sit there and...
People are into that?
I guess. So what's the rest of the story got for us?
Pornhub's most popular porn searches of this year have been revealed. The stats show that a lot of people have been searching for alien and even femdom porn. As the year is drawing to a close, Pornhub has given people an insight to their most popular searches of 2019 in the adult video platform's Halloween searches. They did it at Halloween. It found that Suicide Squad's famous duo Harley Quinn and the Joker were ranking the highest, so clown porn's a thing. Just saying. But but those two famous characters made it nowhere near close in the most popular porn searches of the year. In fact, a lot of users seem to be more interested in watching alien or femdom porn instead. Meanwhile, the term amateur was the top of the list for 2019 searches that define the year. According to Dr. Lori Bettito of the Sexual Wellness Center, it seems that people are looking for more realistic depictions of sex. Real people versus actors seem to be the draw. It's interesting that more and more people are putting themselves out there as amateurs. There's a market. Hey, sex has become much less taboo to those who get a kick out of exhibitionism. They can do so with very little experience or equipment. Oh, so you don't have to have equipment to do it. I mean, like down there. I'm just saying. The message is anyone can be a porn star, she went on to say. Another key search term to make that list for the year was alien because of Area 51. Dr. Lori continued, people are searching for out-of-the-box porn with searches like cosplay and ASMR. The interest in cosplay indicates the desire for all kinds of fantasy play. It's not just about sex. The costumes play a big role in simulating the brain, taking people out of the ordinary. It's the same for ASMR, which is all about sensorial experience, people wanting to be transported to another state of mind, not just by images, but also sounds. Eepop or ah, is that a sound that you'd make?
Does that mean I love you?
I think it does, yeah.
What is that from? Oh, that's the Flintstones, isn't it? No, that's the Jetsons.
That's the Jetsons.
Yes. Oh, God.
And that's the story. This just brings me back to another article we had read at one time, Dave, on Supernatural News, where, do you remember the article about the, I'm going to get very adult here, about the dildo that had the alien egg in it that you could implant inside yourself?
Yes.
Yeah. Disturbing, my friend, disturbing.
Well, you ain't heard nothing yet, son.
No?
I'm coming in hot, Tim, with a big story breaking.
Whoa.
We talk conspiracies. We talk about strange sightings. This is something, Tim, I've never heard of in my life, but something big, literally 10 inches, has washed up on the shore of a beach, Tim. And not just one, but thousands of 10-inch throbbing penis fish have washed up on California shores, Tim. Not even a nudist beach. Thousands of 10-inch throbbing penis fish have washed up on the California shore. Pictures from Drake Beach had the internet blushing this week when a carpet of the pink wriggling phallic organisms were sent unsolicited by the Pacific Ocean. Oh, it's also known as the fat innkeeper worm. Yeah. Because it has a second less flattering nickname thanks to its uncanny resemblance to the certain male appendage. Did you see the picture I sent you? Go ahead, pull it up. Take a look at it, Tim.
Dave,
you know you want to. It's a fish dick pic, I guess.
You're so
the images were shared
it.
by Bay Nature, which even in its expansive experience on the natural world admitted it was shook. Thousands of these marine worms called fat innkeeper worms or penis fish were found on Drake's Beach last week.
Oh, my God.
These phallic organisms are quite common along the west coast of North America, but they spend their whole lives in U-shaped burrows under the sand. So few beachgoers are even aware of their existence. The publication claimed that a recent storm in Northern California brought strong waves that washed away several feet of sand from the intertidal zone, leaving all the worms exposed on the surface, Tim, which we hate that when a big wave comes along and leaves our fat innkeeper worm exposed.
Yeah, boy.
Next time you go to the beach, just think about the hundreds of 10-inch pink sausages wriggling around just a few feet under the sand. It is advised to find a buried one. Beachgoers should look for a little sand chimney that marks the entrance to its burrow, while a nearby pile of worm droppings will mark the back door, as it does in all things, Tim. Bay Nature goes on to describe how the penis fish feeds, slipping and sliding in and out of the tunnel before it exudes a sticky mucus net, then slurps it all back into its mouth, Tim. The publication called on the public to report any mass strandings, taking note of the location and the number of worms. I want to see you out there counting, Tim. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, 1, 2, 3. Damn it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You might have to. This might be a hands-on job, Tim. I'm going to be honest with you.
That's a lot of hands.
The photos quickly went viral online with stars including Nicole Byer and Gus Kenworthy, Tim. You know who either one of them are?
No.
Me neither. Cracking jokes about the worms on social media. Kenworthy, meanwhile, tweeted, Schlong Beach, California. Schlong Beach, Tim. Instead of Long Beach, he went Schlong Beach. Meanwhile, wrestler Joey Ryan, do you know who that is, Tim?
I do.
Added, how many times would you guess I've been tagged in that penis fish story? And Andy Richter cracked, I'm not going to say how I know, but let's just say that penis fish could also be known as the Donny Osmond fish. Andy Richter, you've gone too far.
He has, yeah.
Donny Osmond is a national treasure, as is this show, but it has come to its conclusion, its natural end. We will be back tomorrow. Why? Because we love you. And we've got another fantastic show lined up for you. Great little interview coming up, Tim. And I love the topic title for tomorrow's program. Are you ready for this, Tim?
Ready.
Are you standing and ready?
I'm standing and ready.
All right. Memoirs of a Future Ghost. Heather Scarborough Dobson, our guest tomorrow on the best Paranormal Talk Radio. That's Tim. I'm Dave. You've been listening to the best in Paranormal Talk Radio. This is Beyond the Darkness.